I have the incredibly talented Noreen Rossler with me today from Australia. Noreen is a veteran electrologist with over 50 years experience in the industry. She is a galvanic multi-probe practitioner. She is a product developer, and now we can add inventor to her list of accomplishments. For those of you who are not familiar with Noreen, I want to start with an introduction for our audience. So Noreen, would you please tell us how you ended up in the electrolysis industry?
Sure. Firstly, thank you for inviting me, and hello from Australia. I was 16, discovered a hair problem, went the usual channels, discovered PCOS, went on then to do a beauty course to learn to manage my own problem, went into business, and hence the rest is history.
So Noreen, I remember I asked your opinion on galvanic electrolysis, and you said, I live and breathe galvanic. And you said with galvanic, it takes under 2 years for complete full hair removal. Can you explain that, please?
With galvanic, it's the only method in the world that you can look at a client, give them an evaluation and say, okay, this job is going to take me 30 hours to complete from start to finish. You can give them a time frame. You can set out a plan. I need to see you once a week. You can't do this with other methods, and you can monitor it along the way and deliver within roughly a 12-month time frame. Because galvanic, you're not treating regrowth, and that's the key.
I want to touch on something. You said with galvanic electrolysis, people can see results after only 4 sessions. Provide the treatment plans with certainty. If followed properly, you said, clients will no longer ask, when will I be finished? So are you saying that with thermolysis, you can't achieve similar results?
In 15 years of doing thermolysis, I was never able to tick a box and say to a person, you're finished. You never have to come back and see me. There was always another appointment. With galvanic, not the same. I can complete a treatment and that person is finished for life. But the 4 treatments up front, once they do that, they know that, yes, this really does work and I can continue on it. I am getting results. So they don't need to keep checking in with you. They see the results as we go along.
Tell me about the numerous advantages that galvanic has over other methods, like galvanic can destroy hair, you said, in any cycle, unlike thermolysis, where the hair must be in an active growth phase. In fact, Noreen, you and I both know that the Hinkle textbook actually says without some form of galvanic, it is impossible to achieve permanent results. Please explain.
When you use galvanic, because you are destroying the stem cells, now this is where people get it wrong. People say, oh, I'll destroy the root of the hair. No. You can destroy that as much as you like and it'll come back. And the evidence to that is backed in the clinical trials done in Korea, where they extracted follicles, cut off the lower third, transplanted them in the legs, and they grew hair. So we know it's not the root of the hair. We know it's the stem cells up in the bulge. And if you don't get them, you'll never have permanent result. This is the difference between galvanic and the other methods. We get those stem cells every time we put the needle in. We create caustic soda. The soda moves through the wall, damages the stem cells, and we've got a permanent 100% result.
We know that galvanic stimulates the production of collagen, yet thermo and laser destroy collagen and thin the skin. Can you elaborate on that for us?
If you look at today, they've got a lot of beauty treatments out called needling. What is it? Stimulation, needle stimulating collagen and creating a benefit to the skin. Now, I haven't personally done the research in this area, but from observation, a client that has finished a treatment. Now, myself, I've had my face fully stripped, and at 70, I'm always getting complimented about my skin. But that's the side effect of Galvanic. You completely strip a face, the skin itself will just renew and you get this beautiful peaches and cream type of skin. You cannot get that from thermolysis. And with the heat, I've just received some research from Professor Parwin in India that heat to the skin will break down elastin and collagen. And that was one of my observations from people that have had a lot of laser, was the thinning of the skin. And I was concerned. So I put the question to him and he came back with the research. So now I know what I'm looking at and why.
Is it fair then to say that the advantages of galvanic, particularly multi-probe over thermolysis or the blend, are fast, permanent results and a huge financial savings over time? And that leads me to my next question. Why then do you suppose that many electrologists are still using thermolysis? And why do you think multi-probe isn't more popular?
Lack of education. If you look around the schools now, in Australia, there's not one school that teaches galvanic multi-probe. How can anybody learn about such an amazing method if the schools aren't introducing them to it? And that's my fear, that people want a quick fix. The operators want to do a quick fix. Well, yes, thermolysis is quick. You can cover an area quite quickly, but then you got the regrowth problem. For me, I'd rather know I can finish your face within, or the area you choose, within a short period, maybe like 18 months max, or 12 months if you follow the plan, of course. But I can finish and tick your box and say, that's it, you're done. I can never do that with thermolysis. So how many years are you going to go on having that treatment? 15 years it was, and I was still doing my face. So, you know, for me, there is no choice. If you want to get the result, you want to get finished, then you've got to do it. And I think we have to have those people open their mind to learning and be, you know, just look at it, go and see the results, talk to the people that have had galvanic. You'd never go back to thermolysis once you've done that. So hopefully education's the key. We need to get out there and educate the public at least.
I echo that. I absolutely agree that it is a lot of education. Noreen, you said your vision is to educate consumers and practitioners alike so that they understand the benefits of galvanic. How do you intend to do that?
Once I can finish the development of what the project I'm on, I want to start talking to groups, educating through organizations, through writing articles. I want to team up with Professor Parwin in India because he's got the research and the background knowledge. And I think through people like yourself, thank you for coming on board. It's been a lonely journey. And I think with people, to get a small group of people who realize that we want honest results, and we have to get the word out there and hopefully open up in other countries as well, you know, to spread it. But we will get there. That'll be my mission. I made a vow when I first took this on, nobody would walk the road I did if I could make a difference. My hair problem was so hideous, but I promised the universe that that's what I would do. And I believe I'm walking that road. So yes, it'll happen.
So Noreen, you are such an inspiration, and your knowledge of electrolysis is priceless. You and I had great mentors in the industry. Mine was Anne O'Brien. She was a pioneer of M&G and traveled with Jim Jensen, the genius behind our Gentronics machines. Who was your mentor?
Well, mine was Kay Lasker and Anne O'Brien as well. That's where I first came into multi, through Anne O'Brien. Then I met Kay Lasker, who was an extraordinary human being. She opened her library, her education, her knowledge. She wasn't fearful of sharing her knowledge. And that's what I love. You know, where knowledge is to be shared, not to be contained. And she was that woman. And then I met Professor Parwin. I saw an article by him and I flew to India to meet him. I thought, my God, somebody who has done all this research and is a highly renowned surgeon in India, that he is looking into electrolysis. And his findings was that no Indian woman or woman with a dark skin or male should ever use any method but galvanic. And to me, I thought, thank God somebody hears my voice. So I flew and met him, and he was quite surprised. But, you know, it's when you're so hungry for knowledge, you'll go anywhere in the world to get that one bit of knowledge that's going to make a difference for your clients. So, yes, they're my two mentors. Amazing. And I hope that I can pass my knowledge on to others as well and be hopefully a mentor to the others coming through.
Absolutely. I see that in your future. One of the most talked about unpleasant disadvantages of multi-probe galvanic treatment are the scabs. After a long 4 to 6 hour treatment, let's talk about that a little bit.
Scabbing is one thing. Whether they're visible or invisible, you're going to get them. You do a treatment in a follicle, it has to have a healing process. So you can't avoid it. I just think, you know, after your treatment, you can cover it with makeup. There are solutions. But, you know, what is worse? Having to shave every morning or putting up with a few scabs for a few days? Scabbing can be solved, but it is one of the issues that is a barrier to a few people.
Noreen, you and I both started in the industry as thermolysis users. I struggled for only 2 years and then discovered Galvanic. You, on the other hand, practiced for 15 years. You said, I never ticked a box. I now tick boxes all the time and tell clients, you are finished. So we both agree that our experience with thermolysis was the inability to promise complete permanent hair removal and the observation that galvanic is truly superior to thermolysis. Do you have some thoughts?
Well, in my books, permanent means it's never, ever going to come back. And for me, the frustration of not reaching that point. And I mean, in the end, I just said at the time, I said, I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to travel the world. And if there's no answers, I'm going to quit and find a new career. I found Galvanic in America. And it was like every bean in my body told me this was it.
We both know that that was the original electrolysis way back in 1875. So it's very interesting to me that you started this journey 50 years ago and couldn't find galvanic operators in Australia. And here I am 26 years later, and nobody is practicing the multi-needle galvanic system.
See, people see it as quick compared to slow. It's not at all. I mean, galvanic is far quicker if you're looking at end results.
Because we understand how important it is to continue our work, you and I both have taken on the enormous task of building our own multi-probe galvanic devices. Tell us what the next 10 years looks like for you, Noreen.
I want to be able to educate the public. I want to take Galvanic global. I've been working on connecting with people in many countries to be able to get it out there. My goal is in 10 years, anybody with a problem will have a choice to have true permanent hair removal or the other.
You are truly an inspiration, and I am so blessed to know you. I know your vision and your machines will help so many. Please tell our audience how they can reach you in Australia, and then I will add a link with your information to this video.
Thank you. I'm available at my clinic is called Permanence City. our website, www.permanence.com.au. Please feel free, go there, send me an email, come in and see me. If you're in Sydney or passing through Sydney, call and meet me. I love a chat. If you have a question, please feel free to send me your question. I'll answer it. I don't mind if you're in the other side of the world. I can still answer an email. But my love for this area is so powerful. And I truly want you to all reconsider what you're doing. And if you're after that permanent solution, then just look at Galvanic. It is your answer.
Oh my gosh, you are amazing, Noreen. Thank you again for taking the time to talk to me and to talk to the Beverly Hills Hair Free audience. There's just one other thing that I want to share before we close this interview out. There is a point where I think about how much the newbies in our industry are missing, because you and I have witnessed the growth of an industry, the tanking of an industry. And we have so many people that we've come across in our journeys that are no longer around, no longer with us. And it's such a shame that there's no preservation for the newbies, because they were such a wealth of knowledge for you, Kay Lasker, for me, Ann O'Brien. Is there anything that you can maybe share? Some part of history that would be just an interesting fact. You know, I shared the story how Anne traveled with Jim Jensen and they sold Gentron machines. Had I known 26 years ago that this would have been my journey? Absolutely not. You know, it's incredible how things work out. But is there anything you want to share with our followers?
Yeah, I think one of the greatest awakenings in my life was at 16, you have this hair problem and you're like a Cinderella, and next day you're like one of the ugly sisters. You've got hair growing everywhere. It is devastating. You come up with all these ways of hiding. You go through humiliation. You go through everything. And then you get to around 40 and you discover that what was so painful then has become your greatest gift in life. And to me, having that hair problem, I was blessed with it, because it takes people like myself, like you, that truly understand integrity of workmanship. And you take that seed, that gift, and then you follow it and you know your purpose. Like, this is my purpose. I know it. It's that important to me that I've put everything on the line to be able to deliver. And I think it's perseverance. You understand passion. When you find a problem in your life, look for the gift in it. There is always one.
That is beautiful. And on that note, we're going to end this interview. And I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with me. And I will post all of the information for Noreen in our video. And thank you all for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.